Welcome back to Doc Comics. Today we take a look at the Red Lantern Corps. The Red Lantern Corps was formed by Atrocitus, who used the blood magic of the 5 inversions, empowering the rage within him to create the Red Power Battery and recruit some of the worst foes the Green Lantern Corps and the DC Universe has ever faced. Fueled by the red light of anger, the mindless, zombie-like Red Lanterns have cut a path of terror across the universe. Yet, at their core, many of the Red Lanterns are tragic figures, and many of them were former victims of Sinestro and his Corps. Being a Red Lantern brings with it a number of fantastic powers, such as flight and the ability to spew acidic red bile. These powers, however, come with a cost. The Red Lanterns have no memory of their past lives, driven only by anger, and simply removing the ring does not help, as it can kill the wielder. Despite this, a number of the Red Lanterns are quite powerful, and here are the top 15. Laira. Laira came from a family of Green Lanterns and tried her best to live up to the legacy, even surviving Parallax's massacre of the Corps. However, this survivor's guilt, coupled with feelings of abandonment, eventually led Laira to the Red Lantern Corps. Despite her skills as both a Green and Red Lantern, Laira's time with Atrocitus was even shorter than her tenure with the Green Lanterns, as she was killed right before the Blackest Night. Skallox. Notable for his goat head, Skallox had once been a high-ranking member of an intergalactic crime syndicate before being betrayed and shoved into an oven. The Red Lantern ring found him shortly before he was burnt alive, and he became one of the first members of the Red Lantern Corps. Skallox was one of the most loyal Red Lanterns, and when last seen, was still a member. The Judge. Judge Sheko felt the law on her home world had become ineffective with corruption, and a Red Lantern ring found her right as she was being executed. Most Red Lanterns, upon getting the ring for the first time, lose their memories and humanity, but the Judge largely retained hers. On top of her Red Lantern powers, she is also telepathic, which gives her an extra edge. Mera. Mera, the wife of Aquaman, briefly became a Red Lantern during the Blackest Night event. Angered that her then-dead husband had been resurrected in the Black Lantern Corps, Mera impressed Atrocitus and proved a worthy wielder of the Red Light of Rage, despite only being a Red Lantern for a short while. Mera's water manipulation powers, combined with the powers of a Red Lantern ring, made her quite powerful, and her participation in both the Red Lantern Corps and the Blackest Night helped elevate her status in the DC Universe. Dex-Starr. Many of the Red Lanterns were intelligent, generally humanoid creatures, but not Dex-Starr. Dex was once a well-loved house cat from Earth, until his owner was killed. Cast out onto the streets and then nearly killed himself, Dex-Starr's anger over his owner's treatment led to him being chosen to join the Red Lantern Corps. One of the earliest Red Lanterns, Dex-Starr is a particular favorite of Atrocitus, and quite deadly as his already honed feline instincts were only heightened by the Red Lantern ring. Zilius Zox. Another of Atrocitus's first recruits to the Red Lantern Corps, Zilius Zox is one of its unique-looking members. A faithful and loyal servant to the Corps, Zox was also one of the first Red Lanterns to have his consciousness returned to him, making him even deadlier than ever. Much like Skallox, Zox has fought alongside Atrocitus and the Red Lantern since their inception, and his long-term survival gives a true indication of Zox's power. Kyle Rayner. After the Blackest Night, Green Lantern Kyle Rayner became able to wield the entirety of the emotional spectrum, meaning he can channel the Red Light of Rage as well. What makes it even more impressive is Kyle can wield the red light without a ring. While this may make his connection to the Red Lanterns a little dubious, he can still use their powers better than them. Factor in the powers of the other colors, and Kyle Rayner is one of the most powerful Red Lanterns. Hal Jordan. During the build-up to the Blackest Night, Hal Jordan briefly became a Red Lantern after Laira's murder. Now a mindless slave to his anger, Hal Jordan's skills with a green ring translated to the red as well. A Red Lantern Hal Jordan was bad news for the DC Universe, and had Jordan not overcome the ring's influence, thanks to the Blue Lantern Corps, he could have been just as big of a threat as Parallax. Starro. In the alternate reality of injustice, the starfish-shaped alien known as Starro joined the Red Lantern Corps, which gave upgrades to both him and the Corps. As a member, Starro was able to meld the red light of rage to his ability to create clones of himself. These clones would then attach themselves to innocent people, turning them into powerful, rage-filled zombies. If this had happened on Earth -0, Starro's power would have been so great he could have challenged Atrocitus for leadership of the Red Lantern Corps. Bleez. One of the earliest members of the Red Lantern Corps, Bleez had once been a princess in her home world until the Sinestro Corps ravaged it. Full of anger and rage, Bleez became a natural recruit for the Red Lantern Corps. The Red Lantern ring can induce horrifying physical transformations, and Bleez was no exception. Once an angelic alien, Bleez is now a demonic version of herself. She was also one of the first Red Lanterns to have her humanity restored, but she remained with the Corps. Supergirl. During the New 52, Supergirl had a much harder edge than previous incarnations, and she joined the Red Lantern Corps led by Gardner, who opposed Atrocitus. Wielding the red light of rage, Supergirl became one of the most powerful Red Lanterns, thanks to both the ring and her Kryptonian DNA. Supergirl eventually left the Red Lanterns and, to this day, is still the only member who was able to remove their ring without the aid of a Blue Lantern. Superboy-Prime. One of the few survivors of the crisis on Infinite Earths, Superboy-Prime joined the Red Lanterns briefly during the Blackest Night. Originally intended to be a Black Lantern, his anger and rage instead granted him a Red Lantern ring. Superboy-Prime's appearances have made it clear he is just as strong, if not stronger, than Superman. This fact, combined with the deadly powers provided by a Red Lantern ring, makes him one of its most powerful and deadly members. Gardner. A former Green Lantern like Laira, Gardner became one of the most important and powerful members of the Red Lantern Corps. Able to use both his red and green rings together, Gardner would go on to form his own faction of the Red Lanterns, powerful enough to challenge Atrocitus's authority. The Butcher. Every Lantern Corps has their own entity, a being that exists as the personification of that particular emotional drive, and the Red Lantern Corps is no different. The Butcher is the ultimate expression of anger and rage, and it can possess anyone whose heart is full of those emotions. Furthermore, no ring is necessary for the Butcher to use its extensive powers. The Butcher, unlike other Red Lanterns, was also able to create hard light constructs with powers as well as manipulate reality. Atrocitus. While the others on this list were all extremely powerful Red Lanterns, Atrocitus used his anger to forge the Red Power Battery and created the Corps, making him the first and still the most powerful Red Lantern in the DC universe. Atrocitus's anger knows no bounds, making him the ultimate Red Lantern. Although he was briefly removed as the leader of the Red Lanterns by Gardner, but eventually reasserted his leadership over the Corps and is now biding his time, waiting for the moment to return. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fiery world of the Red Lantern Corps. We've explored the mightiest and most fearsome members, witnessing their rage-fueled power firsthand. If you hunger for more cosmic adventures and superhero sagas, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. Stay tuned for more thrilling content from Doc Comics, where the universe of heroes and villains never ceases to amaze. Thank you once again for your support, and until next time, embrace the power and stay heroic.